goodness. We thank you for your kindness. We thank you for your faithfulness. We thank you for your grace. We thank you for your mercy tonight. We thank you for your goodness. Hallelujah.
Listen, if you know that you serve an amazing God and you're confident in his abilities, what I want you to do for the next few moments, I want you to get out of your aisles really fast, those of you that are in the building, and I want you to find a few people, and I want you to tell them simply one thing God did for you today. That's it, just one thing today. Find you a few people, and I want you to share of God's abilities in your life. He did one thing for me today. What did he do for you today? Those of you that are watching online, I want to welcome you to the house of the Lord today, and I want you to type it in the comments. Come on, you in now. Share it out. Let people know that you're watching the light, but I want us to also take a moment and tell of the goodness of God tonight. Just one thing. Find you somebody. Tell them one thing that God did for you today. Old church said he woke me up this morning, started me on my way. Oh, you ain't found nobody. Go and find you somebody. You came back to your seat too fast. Those of you that are watching online, I want you to let somebody know. Yeah, let them know. Let them know. Let them one thing that God did for you that you could not do for yourself. And if you don't mind, you can tell them two things as well. I know you told them one, you could tell them another. Oh, yes. Reason to be confident. Confident in this. Oh, yes. My God. It's a few that's online. I want to shout you out really fast. Shelly Horton, we miss you, woman of God. Got to see you soon back in the building. Robin Thompson, Valerie Dudley. They saying there's no sound. We're going to fix that real fast so y'all can hear the word of the Lord on tonight. I am privileged and honored to have you in this place of worship tonight. Do yourself and clap. Give yourself a round of applause. Yeah. Do yourself a favor. So happy to see many of your faces in the place, some new faces. That this may be your first time. This is my first time at Tuesday Night Accelerate. Let me see you. Put your hands up. Let me see it. My first time. It is your first time, Chantel. I've seen you all in 2022. No, I'm just messing. We are happy to have you in the house of the Lord tonight. I'm going to go directly into the word of the Lord. The Spirit of the Lord is here tonight to free us and to bring us into a place of victory. So if you came in feeling one way, it is my hope and prayer that you would leave feeling a whole lot better before you leave out of here on tonight. And so I'm going to pray the prayer, and we're going to go directly into the word of the Lord tonight because I believe that God has a word that is going to help to transform your mind, your heart, and your thoughts as we are in this excess baggage particular series. All right. So Father, we thank you for what our ears have heard thus far. We thank you for what our eyes have seen. We thank you for a strong week that you have brought us into. I pray tonight that as we are encouraged through your word, that we ultimately will come into a greater understanding, knowledge of who you are to us. So Father, tonight, speak, give clarity, allow our hearts to receive tonight, open our ears to hear. Allow our spirits to come into a settlement of understanding of your power and who you are in our life. Bring resolve tonight, as well as allow your power to transform this place. Holy Spirit, you're welcome here, which simply means you can do whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. And so, Father, tonight we take our own lenses off and we ask for your spirit and your power to meet us here tonight. Some individuals have come with problems, issues, challenges, things that are beyond them, and they need an answer tonight. And so, Father, I pray that your spirit would do what only it can do, and it be magnified through your power and your grace in this place. And we forever give your name glory, honor, and praise in Jesus' name. If you're ready for the word tonight, clap your hands. Oh, Yes. I don't know why, but I feel God's going to do something in here tonight. All right. We have joined back together tonight to go further in our efforts of letting go of any and literally everything in our life that is causing us to not fulfill the purpose and design of God for our lives. We are now in this particular place where we have to understand that God has given us a strength. He's giving us power. And there also is this thing called capacity in which we can only allow so much to come into our lives. I know we've heard this saying before, which actually is not a scripture. So I know you may have heard this and thought that Jesus said this, but he did not say it like this. It is a saying that goes along something like this. It says, God won't put more on me than I can bear. I want to understand that that is not a scriptural truth. That is not found in the Bible, in reference more so into there is no temptation common to man. That's where you get it from, but it is not that he would not put more on you than you can bear. It sounds good in actuality, but the reality is for many of us, we have to understand the way that our lives are set up. There are times that we feel like we are actually dealing with too much. There are times in our life where we have so much going on, and it seems like things just keep piling on and piling on. In the words of the prophet Nazir Escobar, Nas, as some of us like to call him, he asks this question, and he says, "Life, I wonder, will it take me under?" And too many times in our life, we've had these moments where these same sentiments have been echoed because of how life is treating us. You do know that life comes many times with very different twists as well as turns, so much to the point that it causes us to have reroutings in our life. In other words, there are moments in your life that you thought things would be one way, only to come to understand that it went a different way. There were things that you were planning. There were things that you had saved for. There were things that you never thought would have to come down your direction or door ever again. But some type of crazy way, life in all of its challenges, life in all of its twists, life in all of its roller coaster moments has afforded you the opportunity to understand that everything that you think you control, you actually do not control. There are moments in your life where you really will literally put your hands up in the air and say, I understand one thing, I am not in control of what's happening to my life. And so with me understanding that, I've got to give control to someone who can manage my life. And I don't know about you, I would rather give my control to God than to my mama, to my spouse, or to anybody else, because I can trust and know that when I put my plans in God's hands, ultimately he's going to let his will be manifest in my life opposed to others' plans for my life. You have to understand that when our lives begin rerouted, or they don't always happen the way that we want them to be, we are in a place where we have to have trust in something. Or in other words, we ought to have trust in God. I'll never forget this growing up. There were stories, I got a little ring going on up here. There were stories, or more so TV shows that I would watch. And I came from a Christian home, so some shows I would have to actually sneak to watch. There were shows like the Smurfs. They were demonic. There was a show called Alf. I'm showing my age a little bit. He was demonic. These were shows I could not watch. But on Friday nights, there used to be this thing called TGIF. And there were certain shows that would play on Friday night. There was a show called Family Matters. Some of y'all know Family Matters. Okay, maybe you don't, Steve Urkel. There was other shows that played. There was also a show called The Cosby Show. And I would never forget this one particular episode when Vanessa wanted to go out and she wanted to party one particular night. And she went out and she talked to her mama, and her mama said, no, you can't go for whatever reason. And in that moment, Vanessa did something that I thought was egregious in my life, because I would never do something like that. But she yelled to the top of her lungs, life's not fair. And in that moment, I realized that it wasn't just me. who was going through issues in life that they couldn't have their way. And as I've grown to grow and grown in my faith, grown in my life, I've come to understand with life, there are some good that comes with it, and there is some bad that comes with it as well. It rains on the just like it rains on the unjust. And though you may think that you're doing everything right in your life, there are going to be moments in your life when things will just simply not make sense. This is why I believe it is very imperative, especially if you are a believer, to take Ephesians 6:10 to heart, which means, which I believe is very necessary, but Ephesians 6:10, it tells us to be strong in the Lord. I got a few Bible readers in here. It says, be strong in the Lord and in the power of your might. No, it says in his might. And then it tells us to do what? To put on the whole armor of God. Why? That you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. In essence, you have to understand that daily there is an enemy that is after you. There is an enemy that is raging war against you. Now, here's the thing. If you don't have no issues, you don't have no problems on a daily, I would wonder, or I would question how valid you are in your spiritual walk, because I can promise you one thing. If I take a survey real fast, there are some people under the sound of my voice in this building who literally day after day, week after week, it would seem as if the enemy ain't cutting you no slack. And he is literally trying to fight you, to discourage you, to make you succumb to the plan that God has for your life. Why does he do that, Pastor? Because he realizes that you are a glory carrier. And he's trying to frustrate you as much as he possibly can, because you have power and you have connection to God. I wonder in the building tonight, is there any of you in here that can say, Pastor, it's only Tuesday, but this week already has started off rough for me? Can I tell you that that's a warfare, that the enemy is trying to do everything he can to make you feel as that you don't have power? But do me a favor tonight, look at the person next to you and say, you got power. Oh yeah, look at the other person, tell them, you got power. You have a power, a delegated authority that God has given you to help you to understand that you're not fighting these things in your flesh, but you are fighting in the spirit. So oftentimes what we like to do is we like to look at circumstantial things as people, places, or things, and we like to fight with the email, fight with the text message, fight by cussing somebody out, fight by doing this. And God is saying in this season for many of us, it is not that I want you to do any of those things, because you don't have to fight at all. I'm fighting for you. All you got to do is stay on your knees, stay prayed up, so when the attacks come, you're able to stand against the wiles of the enemy. I know some of you right now, I'm looking at you because you got some bumps and you got some bruises from the fights that you've been in. But can I tell you something? Many times we're not prepared for the battle because we haven't put on the armor of God. And if some of us sometimes would just do this a little more, we wouldn't find ourselves in situations that require the armor of God, because what we would have been in a place of susceptibility. In other words, there are times in your life where you are weaker than others. Could it be that you didn't pray that morning? Could it be that you haven't spent time with God that morning? Because for some of you, and I can just look at a few of your faces, there have been times when the enemy came to fight you, came to disrupt your peace, but because you had spent time with God, he wasn't able to win no battle. And you said, the devil is a liar. I'm keeping my victory. I'm keeping my strength. And I'm not allowing anybody or anything to bring discomfort to the peace that God gives my life. See, when you are prepared for a battle, you handle things better opposed to being caught off guard. And unfortunately, many of us have been so many times caught off guard by so many extra trivial things that it has occupied us in every nook and corner of our mental space, of our brain, in our heart, in our emotions, while things we're dealing with in most cases, and this may not be for everybody, but a few of us, have absolutely nothing to do with us. We're fighting other people's problems. We're dealing with other people's issues. We're taking on other people's situations, all because they come to us for refuge rather than taking them issues to God. In other words, you losing sleep over everybody else stuff while they at home night, I'll talk to you later, and you praying, you fighting, you doing everything else while they not worried about it, they not concerned about it. Can I tell you tonight, this is not the time to take on things in your life that have nothing to do with your life. I know some of us are intercessors. I know some of us have that discipline, but for some of us, we are not strong enough to fight for other people, because in this season, for some of us, listen, we fighting for ourselves. I'm fighting for my own life, and I ain't got time to be worried about nobody else or nothing else but me. And consequently, we're becoming more stressed with things we cannot control. We're becoming stressed with more things that people are putting on us. We become stressed with things that have absolutely nothing to do with us. Oh, you don't believe me? Here it is. We live in a stress-filled world. There's stress at home, there's stress at the workplace, there's stress in business, there's stress in ministry. There is literally stress everywhere you turn. And you may not look at it as stress, but I'm gonna give you another word for it. It is pressure. There's a pressure. There's a pressure to perform. Or when you go to work, you gotta make your numbers. When you gotta go home, you gotta clean, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. When you get around family members, you gotta be this certain type of way. There's a pressure for anyone, most times, to feel as though they have to occupy a space, and most times, for many of us, we're just looking for a place of rest. Stress, by definition, is a constraining force, or it is an influence. And I know you think that stress comes in forms of problems, or stress comes from people and their issues. But can I also tell you that stress can also come in the form of people? Stress can come from the form of people. Don't look at me in that tone of voice tonight, because I see you looking at me. Don't look at me like that. But the reality is that the enemy will literally strategically place people in your life to stress you out. I said he will put strategic people in your life that every time you get around them, every time they call you, every time you see them, guess what happened? You get stressed out. And you're thinking that maybe God just wanted them to be around me. Can I tell you something? That the blessings of the Lord do what? They make it rich, and they add no sorrow. And there are some folks around you, every time you get around them, guess what happens? You get sorrowful. Every time you get around them, you just, oh God, my spirit get vexed, my energy's off, because you're around the wrong people who have been demonically assigned to your life to try to bring you to a place where God is trying to cause you to walk into victory. Do me a favor tonight, look at the person you're going to help me preach this. Look at them and say, listen to me. Don't let nobody or nothing stress you out. Stress is a physical, chemical, or emotional factor that causes bodily or mental tension, and it may be factored in many of our diseases of causation. In other words, your health can be at risk because you're worrying about too much stuff. I'm going to say that again. I said your health can be at risk because you're worrying about too much stuff. You always got headaches. You got migraines. You got backaches, among other things. Why? Because you're worrying about stuff. And guess what it's doing? It's causing stress. Can I tell you something that you may not like, but I'm going to help you tonight? But you need to know this. The Bible says in Matthew 6:34, now this is Jesus talking, and he says, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow. I know you don't like that, because you're thinking about tomorrow right now. You're thinking about what you got to do. You're thinking about what you're going to eat. You're thinking about what you're going to go. Matter of fact, let's go into Thursday. You're thinking about Thursday. You're thinking about next week. And you're worrying about tomorrow and the pressures that come with it. And what it's doing is it's allowing you not to enjoy the space that you're in the moment. The Bible says, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow. Guess why? Because tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Do me a favor, look at the person next to you and tell them, stop worrying. Oh, they ain't saying strong enough. Look at the other person. Tell them, listen to me. Stop. Oh, you ain't saying it like, say, stop worrying. Tonight, as we plow through some more layers of excess baggage, I want to deal with this big giant of a thing called stress. And I want to talk about, in particular, the spirit of worry and anxiety that is being masked through it. You're worrying while you're stressed. You're worrying while you're worried through this thing of anxiety, and you're always fidgety. It's because this demon has tried to literally lock itself on your mind. Now, here's the thing. We all have multiple things that we are currently dealing with. So I don't want anybody to think, well, you don't understand, Pastor, if they ain't got it like me. We all got stuff that we dealing with. But if we're not putting things in their right places or in their right spaces in our lives, then guess what we'll do? We'll find ourselves packing more things into our mental, physical, and emotional spaces than we have the capacity for. So what happens is you're taking on too many burdens or too many conversations, too many things in your heart. So what happens is your heart starts feeling a certain type of way. And then you've took on too many extra burdens financially. So then what happens is you start thinking of ways that you can figure stuff out. And you're trying to do this to rob Peter, to pay Paul, to do this, to do that, to do this. And it causes you to have to think more than you have to think. And it isn't even your issue because somebody borrowed the money from you and you don't even think they're going to get the money back. So what happens is we find ourselves taking on more than what we should take on. And here it is. We actually get challenged in this because other people look at us as if we got it all together. But the reality is we about literally one conversation away from having a mental breakdown. And here's the thing. We become so supportive of everybody else that when we actually look up and we need people to help us, we're all by ourselves. How is it that you're always the strong one for everybody else? But the one time I need somebody to be strong for me, the one time I need somebody to pray for me, the one time I need to borrow some money from somebody, you ain't nowhere to be found. But I done gave you rides, I done helped you do this, I done helped you do that. But when it's my time, nobody wants to help me. And what happens is we always give and we never take a moment to take. And as a result of this, not only do we worry, but then we start dealing with anxiety. And then as we deal with anxiety, we get tired. We become physically tired. We get mentally tired. We get emotionally tired. And the reality is that we don't know how to rest. Our lesson tonight picks up in the gospel according to Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. And here we see Jesus that understood that these moments would come because he does two particular things in this particular text. He gives a remedy and he gives an invitation. Help me preach tonight. Say remedy and invitation. Jesus here, he opens up and he says this word. He says, come to me. He says, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened. This call is not for people that are self-sufficient. This call is not for arrogant or for prideful people. Unfortunately, many people are too proud to admit that they're burdened. I know, that's all right. I lose my amens, but I'm going to help you in a minute, I promise you. Many of us are too prideful to actually admit that there are seasons in our life where we actually need help. Why? Because we got to look like we got it all together to everybody else. And we got to portray ourselves to be one way when the reality is for us, we can be struggling on the inside or even externally, but for the sake of keeping up appearances or being like the Joneses or being like everybody else, we want to act like we got it all together when we're stressed out. We're about to be evicted. We're about to lose our job. We're about to lose our family. We're about to lose a lot of things. And rather than humbling ourselves and praying and asking God for help, we would rather sit there with our hands folded, eyes closed, as if this is just going to miraculously happen by itself. Here Jesus says, you who are weary. You're weary. And some of you here tonight, you're looking at me and you're weary. You're weary. You're tired. You're fatigued. You're like, God, when is it going to be my turn? When is it going to happen? When is it going to change? I've been faithful. I've been doing it. I've been doing everything that I knew to do, and I'm getting tired. And here's the thing. Can I tell you something that you may not like, but it's the truth? A lot of Christians are weary. But we can't be honest about our weariness because we got to act like we got it all together. But the reality is for many of us, we're weary, we're tired. We have come to a place in our life where if God don't change it, it won't be changed. And what happens, because we have these expectations, sometimes not that God can't do it, but because he didn't do it or he hasn't done it in the time that we wanted it done, we get tired and we get weary. He says, you that are weary, you're weary. He said, this call is for those who are in labor, who are laboring. And he says, those of you who are heavy laden. Now, some scholars would suggest that the word labor indicates the burdens that we take upon ourselves. And the phrase heavy laden refers to the burdens that other puts on us. So I'm going to help you. Some of you tonight are weary and some of you are heavy laden because some burdens you've taken on yourself and there are some burdens that some people have put on you that you didn't even ask for. The word heavy laden most likely refers to the burdens laid by the scribes and the Pharisees because we find this in Matthew 23 and 4. Here it is. The Bible says that they tie up heavy burdens, hard to bear, and they lay them on people's shoulders. But here's the thing, but they themselves, Pharisees, scribes, are not willing to move them with their own finger. I got to say that one more time. This is what the scriptures say. It says they tie up heavy burdens. Pharisees, the people that are prideful, they will put burdens on you that are hard to bear. They will lay them on your shoulders. But here's the thing, they are not willing to move them off with their own finger. In other words, you put this on me, but you're not willing to help take it off me. I'm going to talk to a few mamas in here tonight and some grandmas. You brought this baby in the world, but you want me to take care of her. I know, it's all right. I'm going to lose some of you. It's all right. But here's the reality. Many times, many of us, we will find ourselves in situations that we did not ask for. And that's sometimes where a lot of us land because people say one thing, but then they change their mind so quick. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then you look up and you're like, oh, you said you was going to do that. Oh, I can't do that right now. And you're like, what happened? Which leaves us with the extra pressure that we only tried to dissolve from somebody else. But in actuality, guess what happens? It falls on us. Have you ever had moments because you were so connected to a person, a place, or even a thing that you could feel how they felt when you weren't even trying to? You could be at work and you could be thinking about that thing and it's like literally pulling at your heart, it's tugging at your mind, it's whatever, whether it's because of the burden that you have developed for it. Here Jesus says, listen to me, come to me. With all your extra burdens, with all the stuff that you didn't even put on yourself, he simply says, he lays out this invitation. But you want to know something that's so unfortunate for so many of us? I'm going to tell you what it is. We don't even take him up on the offer, and we keep trying to figure everything out on our own, all the while he's saying, listen, I'm right here. Help me help you. I'm trying to help you. Help me. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to relieve you. Jesus says this invitation that I'm giving is universal. It's for all who are laboring. It's for all who are heavy laden. It doesn't matter which denomination you belong to. It don't matter which religion that you follow. It don't matter which region you live in, what the color of your skin is, what your sexual preference is, or what your background is. He just says, come to me. Come to me. Not your mama, not your doctor, not your boo, not your boyfriend. He says, come to me. And here's the thing that I love about the text. He says, and I will give you. Here's the thing. If we don't go to him, we low key are showing him that we don't even trust him. If you don't take your issues, your problems, your weariness, your heavy ladenness to him, you're showing him that you don't trust him. But check this out. No person on earth nobody can give such an invitation. Your own father, your own mother, your husband, your wife, your children, friends cannot offer this invitation that Jesus is offering. Most of us like to be around people who can make us cheerful. We like to be around people that's going to make us happy. We don't like to listen for bad news. Most of of us don't like to spend all of our time listening to people or being around people who are burdened. You know it. I'm looking at your faces. You don't like being around people that have negative energy. And just every time you're around them, it's like, oh, God, I don't want to be around you. But consequently, we become burdened and heavy laden, and we don't even know that we are. You done took on so many burdens in your life, and you have learned how to master them that you have become heavy laden, and you don't even know you are. You become so burdened with so many other people's stuff that you carrying all this stuff, and you wondering why you can't walk straight no more. You wondering why you run slow now, because you carrying so much stuff that's preventing you from getting to where you need to be. Jesus goes on in verse 29, and he says, take my yoke upon you. It says, take my yoke upon you and learn from me. Here Jesus asks us to take his yoke upon us. Jesus is calling us to a place of rest. Here it is. He's saying rest, but don't be lazy. I want you to rest, but I don't want you to get into a pattern where you're relying on being lazy and stagnant. You gotta rest, you gotta recharge, you gotta have a moment, you gotta take a break, you gotta have a sabbatical, but I don't want you to get lazy in the process. He does not say, take my bed. He don't say, take my chair, but he says, take my yoke, because you still gotta carry something. And I know we don't like to carry nothing more than what we can handle, but he says, listen, I need you to carry my yoke. He would generally, you got to understand that when a man carries a yoke, he would generally carry it on his shoulders. And a yoke is used in most cases with cattle, and they put yokes on cattle so that they don't stray from each other. I wish I had my wall because I'll show you how it really looked. But here it is. They would put these yokes on each other. And you got to understand about a yoke. A yoke is an example of subjection to obedience. When you are yoked to something, you are obedient to it. You can't move when you want to move. You can't go when you want to go. Why? Because you yoked. Have you ever seen a dog on a collar? I'll help you a little better. Have you ever seen a dog with a leash and somebody's walking the dog and the dog gets unruly or crazy? What happens? The owner of the dog does what? He pulls the dog back, because he's controlling it. When you are yoked to something, you are subjected or obedient to what it is. The Jews spoke of carrying the yoke of God's law, meaning they obeyed God's law. So when Jesus said, take my yoke upon you, he's commanding you ultimately to obey him. While Jesus did all that, while Jesus does all of that needs to be done in order for you to be granted salvation, guess what? You still got a responsibility. You still got to come to Jesus. I know he said come, but when you come, you got to come with an obedient heart. So you can't come. Well, he said come, I'm going to come. Well, then you might as well stay where you at, because if you ain't coming with the right spirit, ain't nothing going to change in your life, and you won't rest. He says you have to take the yoke of submission. Take this yoke of instruction. And I know that this won't always be easy, but we need to take his yoke and do what? Learn from him. Jesus, if anybody, is the greatest teacher of being submitted to something. Here it is. He went down Golgotha. He did all these things. He was submitted to his Father. He said, listen, he was in the pressing in Gethsemane, and he said, listen, if this cup could pass, please let it pass. But nevertheless, not my will, because I'm yoked to my Father. I'm yoked to the assignment that's on my life. And for some of you right now, you need to get yoked. That's what your problem is. That's why you stress out. That's why you don't have passion. That's why you don't have no drive. That's why you don't know what's going to happen next. That's why you don't, because you're not yoked to anything. And whenever somebody says something to you one way, you go that way. When somebody says something to you, you go that way. But when you're yoked to Christ, you're submitted. He says, take my yoke, learn from me. Why? Because I'm gentle and I'm lowly in heart. Here it is. Jesus ain't, God ain't never going to force himself on you. He ain't never going to push up on you. He's a gentleman. He says, if you want it, come get it. If not, I'm going to leave it right here, but it's available for you. And here it is. He says, I'm humble enough that I understand that you got issues. But because in my humbleness, I want to give you an opportunity to receive what you need. I'm trying to give you salvation, which is freedom, which is rest, but you don't want it because you want what you want. Though Jesus is authoritative, he is also gentle. And for some of us right now, we've had enough people in our life who are authoritative, told us what to do, how to do it, when to do it, where to do it, whatever. Where in this season of our life, we can't afford not to be handled the right way. I need you to handle me with such a care. I need you to handle me with such a special value, because the reality is people have treated, for some of you, this ain't everybody, but for some of you, people have treated you so bad that you don't trust nobody. You don't trust nobody. I don't care what you say to me. I do not trust you. It sounds good. It look good. But I do not trust you. Jesus said, you may not trust them, but I need you to trust me. He's gentle. And that's why he's qualified to give you rest. Why, Pastor? Because he ain't going to crush you. He's not going to destroy you. He says, just come to me. And here's the thing. We will never regret anything if we take the yoke of Jesus. I didn't say pastor's yoke. I didn't say your mama yoke. I said Jesus yoke. Jesus says, here it is in verse 29. He says, take my yoke upon you. Learn from me. Learn from the examples that I've given you. Learn from the things that I did. Learn. I know we wear the What You Do Jesus bracelet, but he said, learn from me, because I'm gentle and you so mean and nasty to people. Can't halfway keep a conversation without you rolling your eyes at somebody like they owe you something. Be gentle, humble in heart. Then he says, and then you will find rest for your soul. Verse 30, I'm done. For my yoke is easy. We ain't gotta struggle with this thing. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. Jesus offers what here? Rest to us. The word rest means salvation. Jesus here is inviting us all to a place of immediate salvation. Some of you right now, you just need to lift your hands and say, Lord, I need rest. Lord, I need rest. I need rest from these thoughts that are in my mind, that are running all over my mind every single day. I need rest in my emotions, because I keep playing out things that people did to me from 15, 10, 8 years ago. Lord, I need rest. Because if I don't get rest, I'm gonna keep running. If I keep running, I'm gonna keep finding myself in other places that I don't need to be in. So Lord, help me tonight to rest, because what's happening, I'm taking on too much stuff and I'm not resting in you. This is not just a one-time thing. He says, but this is the promise that applies to every day of your life, your trials that you encounter, everything that you're going through. All you gotta do is just keep coming to me. And guess what? A lot of us carry burdens. We carry the burdens of sickness. We carry the burdens of work pressure. We carry the burdens of raising kids. We carry the burdens of finances. We carry the burdens of emotional stress and anxiety. We even face the burden of the devil's attacks. Because some of us wake up daily like, devil, what you got today? What it's going to be today? What's going to happen today? But here it is. Here's the good news. And I'm done. We can find rest in him. Tonight, it's simple. Some of you have been carrying so many things. You are weary, you are heavy laden, you are burdened down, and God's saying tonight, I just want you to come to me. I just want you to come to me. I don't have nothing deep for you. I just want you to come. God is saying, I just want you to come to me. You're going to everybody else with this stuff. You're having conversations upon conversations upon conversations upon conversations upon conversations. You're in people's DMs. You're in people's emails. You're doing everything you can. You're trying to find a word. You're trying to do this because you don't have a rest in me, because you don't trust me. Because maybe I can't do it the way that you think that I need to be doing. But if you put it in my hands, I'll bring you rest. Some of you ain't slept in weeks, months, years. You can't sleep because your mind won't let you sleep. Your heart won't let you sleep. Why won't let you sleep, Pat? I can't sleep because you're thinking about them. They left you 10 years ago, and you can't sleep because you're still thinking about them. I wonder what they're doing right now. I wonder who they in the bed with. I wonder if they're thinking about me. They're not thinking about you. They have moved on with their life. And guess what? You need to as well. I know you don't like this kind of teaching, but it's the truth. Because you still are stuck in a season of life that has left you in a season where you're literally lost and you're trying to find it. And here's the reality. You get mad at God because you ain't where you need to be, but you won't find rest in him because you're carrying stuff that you need to have let go of. So you carrying issues, pains, hurts, stuff that you ain't let go of. And what happens is you take it into new places. Oh, I'm healed. I'm delivered. I'm set free. No, you not. How you know, Pastor? Because you get triggered real fast. And when that trigger hits you, guess what happens? You go back to that place. Well, 10 years ago, you ain't healed yet. It still got real estate in your heart. It still got real estate in your mind. It still got real estate in your emotions. And God is saying, I'm trying to get all this baggage off of you so you can be free. You can love, you can live, you can have everything that you need, but I can't do nothing if you won't be honest and come to me. So tonight is simple. God is just looking for a few of us who saying, listen, I'm coming to you, God, with all my issues, with all my pains, with all my weariness. And some of you, here's the thing, you're not even weary. Here it is. You're not even weary because of bad things. Some of us have gotten weary in our well-doing. You've got weary just for living right. When everybody else is living how they want to live, doing whatever they want to live, and you are like, listen, God, I'm trying my hardest to do everything I need to do that's right. I'm getting weary in this because it don't seem like it's turning. Everybody else getting blessed, everybody else doing what they want to do. Here I am standing here trying to be faithful to you, and everybody else is getting blessed. I'm getting weary. God said, don't worry about that. I got you. Bring it to me. Bring all that weariness. Bring all that frustration. Bring all that pressure. Bring it to me. You who are weary and heavy laden. And not your pastor will do it. Not the evangelist. Not the prophet. But I will give you rest. Those of you under the sound of my voice, I just want you to walk into a place of agreement with God tonight. And I'm not going to force you to do anything, but I believe the Lord is here to literally take upon you and to put upon you a freedom, a release, a rest that you need in your heart, a rest that you need in your mind, a rest that you need in your spirit. There are some of you under the sound of my voice, you have been carrying stuff for so long it has become a part of your life. Been carrying so many other issues, your family members, friends, job, business, carrying it. It's causing anxiety, it's causing stress. It's literally slipped you into places of depression that you've had to fight yourself out of. And here's the thing, some of you, and I'm sorry I feel this strong, some of you are depressed and you don't even know you're depressed. You are a functioning depressor. I don't know the word, I'm just making something up. But you're functioning and you're depressed. And you wonder why it always, because you're not giving it to God. And here's the thing that I want to say this tonight, and we're going to worship in a moment. Here's the thing. We say we give it to God, but we pick it right back up. If you're going to give it to him, give it to him. That's all I got for you tonight. If you're going to give it to him tonight, give him all of it. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't hold back. No, God, I'm giving you all of it. I'm giving you this pressure. I'm giving you these children. I'm giving you these bills. I'm giving you my frustration. I'm giving you everything that I can't figure out. I'm giving it to you tonight. You figure it out. Because it's going to wear me out. Because it's been wearing me out. And if that's your prayer tonight and you're saying, God, I'm coming to you. I got to come because my marriage can't continue to be what it is. I got to come to you because my relationships can't be what they are. My mind can't remain where it's at. So tonight, I'm coming to you. Wherever you are in your seats, I want you to lift your hands. And again, this may not be for everybody. But for those of you on the other side of me, say, listen, God, tonight is my night. Tonight is my night of freedom. Tonight is my night of salvation. And I'm not referring to you giving your life to Christ. I'm referring to you giving him you. And just for the next few moments, I just want you to begin to lift up a worship, and not so much a worship, but a place of honesty to God, to begin to talk to him tonight. And just be honest, God, I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you my moments of being ashamed. I'm giving you my pressures. I'm giving you the stuff I can't fix. I'm giving you my illicit sexual proclivities. I'm giving you everything because that's the only way I'm going to find rest. Can't keep chasing this and chasing that and looking after this and expecting this and trying to get this from people and from money and from jobs and from things. I need it from you, so help me to find rest all over this place. Come on, with your hands extended, I want you to talk to your Father tonight. He said come to him, not pastor. Come to him. Bring it to him. Lay it at it. Some of you, you need to come to this altar. You need to lay it at his feet. I know for many of you, you may be comfortable in your seat, but I want to talk to some people tonight who literally are in a place of weariness and who cannot afford to leave this place tonight. Come on, all over. Come on, just worship, worship, worship. Give it to him tonight. God, I give it to you. I give it to you tonight. 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 Come on. Those of you that are watching online, you can't make this your place of altar. But those of you that are in your homes, you may need to get on your knees, get on your couch, lay in your bed. And I bind the spirit of the enemy that will come to bring a dissension in your heart, that will come to bring your mind, that will come to bring thoughts that you are okay. You're not okay. You need a moment of rest. You need a moment of peace. You need a moment to God to fill your heart. You've been trying to survive, and you can't survive no more without his glory. You can't survive no more without his rest. So tonight, God, we ask for your rest. We ask tonight for your power. We ask tonight for your strength. We ask tonight for your glory to meet us. Oh, I see. I feel it tonight. Hey! Come on, come on, come on, come on. Find rest tonight. Find rest tonight. Some of you are just tired in your body. Some of you are fatigued in your body. The strength of the Lord is being, the strength of the Lord is being released to you tonight. All you got to do is receive it. Come on. Come on, receive it tonight. Hey, receive his strength tonight. I said receive his strength tonight. Receive his strength. You, who are weary, who are heavy laden. You've been trying to carry everything. But tonight, God sent you a word. God sent you a moment to give you rest. I just need about 30 of you that are in this building to begin to stand to your feet. And why I'm standing, Pastor? Because I want you to get out of your normal. This isn't a time to be lazy, but this is a moment for you to get for real, for real. That's why he says my yoke is easy. That don't mean get lazy. That don't mean no, that means you got to work this thing tonight. And I got to get yoked to God. So I got to do whatever I got to do. I speak rest to your mind. I speak rest to your emotions. I speak rest to your heart tonight. I speak rest to your family. I speak rest to every condition in your body. I speak rest to your family tonight. I speak and I declare that God's bringing healing. I said healing, healing, healing. Healing in your finances, healing in your heart. I bind the enemy that will make you think that you're a failure. But tonight we decree and we declare the word of the Lord that you will and you shall rest. Your mind's going to rest. Your spirit's going to rest. We forget those things which are behind us and we forge unto what's ahead. So Father, tonight heal our hearts. Heal our hearts. Heal our hearts of the embarrassment. Heal our hearts of the rejection. Heal our hearts of the abandonment. Heal our hearts of the mistreatment. Heal our hearts of the violence. Heal our hearts of the trauma. Heal our hearts tonight, God. We don't want to take it into another month. We don't want to take it into another week. We don't want to take it into another day. But tonight, give us rest. Oh, I said tonight, give us rest. Rest in our spirits. Rest in our homes. Rest in our minds. Rest in our hearts. Rest. I need you to decree it tonight and just say rest. Rest upon me. Rest upon me. Rest upon me. Strength be upon me. Rest upon me. Strength be upon me. Rest upon me. I will not quit. I will not give out. I will keep fighting. I will keep warring. I will keep going. I will not give up. I will not quit. I will not stop. I will not stop. I will not stop. I don't know who that's for tonight, but the Holy Ghost wants me to tell you, you cannot stop. You cannot stop. I know the enemy's been trying to wear you down. He said, I can't have you, but I'm going to wear you down. Tonight, we decree and we declare that the strength of the Lord be multiplied in your life. In every area, you will not quit. Every teacher, them children ain't going to wear you out. Every parent, them kids ain't going to wear you out. I decree and I declare that you have strength, that you have strength, you have strength, you have strength, you have strength. I said you have strength. I need you to help me tonight. Go find you 7 people, and I want you to prophesy and tell them you have strength. You have strength. Those of you that are watching online, I want you to type it in the comments and declare and declare the word of the Lord. You have strength. You have strength. You have. Oh, you ain't found nobody. You still at your seat. Get out your seat. Move in this place. Walk in authority. Declare and decree the strength of the Lord. I said the strength, the strength, the strength, the strength, the strength. Yay! I said you have strength tonight. I said you have strength tonight. And guess what? You gonna rest. Your mind's gonna rest. Your heart's gonna rest. Your spirit's gonna rest. You ain't got to worry. Why? Because I came to Jesus just as I was. I was weary. But guess what? I found rest. I need you to shout it. Say rest. Oh, you ain't saying it tonight. I need you to lift your hands as high as you can get them, Lighthouse. Those of you that are watching on the stream, and on the count of 3, I want you to decree and declare rest. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yes. There's a rest for your spirit. There's a rest for your soul. Hey. Yeah. There it is. There it is. There it is. Now I want you to decree and declare one more thing. On the count of 3, I want you to say strength. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you said it like you got it tonight. You said it like you got it tonight. You said it like you got it tonight. Let's try that one more time. But I want you to get somebody by the hand. Go find you a praise partner. Go find you a praise partner. Why? Because you ain't in this thing by yourself. I said you ain't in this thing by yourself. Yes, sir. And I want you to speak the word of the Lord. I want you to look at her and say, neighbor, I decree and I declare you have strength. I decree and I declare that you will rest and things will be well. Now I need you to lift up praise in the building. Oh yes. There's a rest for your spirit. There's a rest for your soul. I don't know why, but I feel like running. Valerie, you're starting something in here. But there's a strength that's going. You're going to win this battle. Oh, yes. Strength. Break it down for me right here. Lift your hands all over the building. And in this moment, I just want you to receive. Just receive. Come on. Just receive. We say, well, Pastor, what did that mean? Just receive. You ain't got to say nothing. Just, Lord, I receive it. I receive it. I receive it. I receive the rest. I receive this strength. I'm not going to grow weary. I'm not going to get tired. And Lord, even with this weariness I've been feeling, there's some of you in this building right now, and you have been weary, you have been tired, you've been heavy laden. I want you to meet me down on this altar really fast. Come on. It's all right, you ain't got to be ashamed. You've been tired, you've been weary, you've been heavy laden. That's you. Heavy laden is people putting things on you. It's not you necessarily with the issue, but it's people putting things on you. And you can be cute all you want to, but I'm telling you, God wants to free you tonight. The breaker's here. Here to break up everything that's causing you not to rest. Because you got to rest. Don't leave me, MJ. Those of you that are down in this altar, I want you to begin to lift your hands as high as you can. Literally as high as you can. Don't play with me. You going half-mast. No. High as you can get them things tonight. No half-mast. Lift your hands high tonight. Why am I lifting my hands high, Pastor? Because the higher you lift your hands, the more the weight comes off. There's literally nothing that can hold on to you. Why? Because you're free. And tonight I want to pray. I'm just going to apply my hand over your heart, over your spirit tonight. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to put some anointed oil on you. Because you need grace in this moment. You need power in this moment. You need strength in this moment. All you got to do is keep your hands lifted. I know. See, your hands are a sign of what's going on in your heart and in your spirit. Your hands are getting tired. Lift them things all the way up. There you go. You tired? Guess what happens? Your hands get tired. Your spirit gets tired. All the way up. Yep, there it is. Yeah, now about so cold. High as you can get them tonight. Why, Pastor? Because the higher you reach, the higher God's going to grab you. Yeah, I speak rest, 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 rest. We in the glory now. You just got to receive it. Yeah, I speak rest, 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 rest. We in the glory now. Yeah. I speak rest. Rest handaratata sokoba. Shandiamose. Yeah. Shandarabaso rebiandarabaso. Rest. Rest. Yeah, there it is. There it is. There it is. Come here, Pastor Rose. Rest. Yeah. Just put your hand. There it is. Yep. There it is. Rest from all your weariness.